Howdy folks, greetings. So it's early in the morning, I've got my coffee. I thought before I go out for work, I'll just give my thoughts on last night's debate as they're still fresh in my head. First of all, I've got to say, I didn't like the format at all. I thought it was very messy. At one point, she said you got 45 seconds to answer a question. How can you give any meaningful answer to a question in 45 seconds? I felt they both came across quite childish at times, talking over each other, just digging at each other rather than answering the questions. I thought there was a lot of childish point scoring at times. I think Starmer brought up Liz Truss two, three times. I mean, obviously, you've got to bring her up, but it was just quite fake and obviously inserted. I think Sunak was badgering him about something, and Starmer said, "Oh, I wish you talked this much when Liz Truss was crashing the economy. Ha ha ha." And it was just so obviously a line that he wanted to throw out at some point. I mean, obviously, you've got to talk about Liz Truss, but that's pretty easy, really. You just say, well, it's going to be hard if we get into government because we're inheriting an economy crashed by Liz Truss. You know, pretty simple. Just jog everyone's memory about that. Don't insert this dodgy joke. But the same on the other side. You know, Sunak came across very childish at times, constantly interrupting, not letting Starmer speak. Very childish. I think Sunak's biggest loss was the NHS waiting times that have actually gone up, and his muted excuse, well, we brought them down because they were up, and then we brought them down. That was pretty poor. I'll get into the specific topics individually, but an overall assessment, I have to be honest, I think Sunak probably came off better. I think he done a better job at getting his points across. Now, I may completely disagree with his points and all of his politics, but this is something that the Tories have always been good at, haven't they? Quick, easy to understand messages. I know what his overall message from that debate was. Labour will tax you more. The economy is getting better with us. We have a plan to stop the small boat. And he just hammered those 3 points throughout the whole debate. I felt Starmer was not clear with his answers. He was giving the right answers, but he was waffling a lot. The best example of this is when Sunak brought up this £2,000 figure that all our citizens are going to be paying extra in tax. He didn't nip that in the bud straight away. It wasn't till halfway through the debate where he actually debunked that figure. He should have said straight away, as soon as Sunak brought that up, £2,000 extra for tax on citizens, straight away he should have said, that's ridiculous, that's lies, that's not what we're going to do. But he didn't do that. He didn't do that till later on in the debate. Madness. It seems like madness to me. He was also very wishy-washy with his answers over immigration and the small boat. I mean, Labour's policy is up border force and tackle the criminal gangs, which is obviously the better option. But he just took too long waffling on about his old job, talking about his experiences with terrorists, just sharp points. When Sunak says, we've got Rwanda, what are you going to do? Just go, Rwanda is nonsense, it's costing us £1 billion, it's a stupid gimmick, the obvious thing to do is to invest resources and money into upping our border force and cracking down on these criminal gangs. Now that is what he said, but he unravelled that in just so much waffle, I felt. Just short, sharp points. And this is the thing, this is what you got to understand. I don't know the audience for these sort of debates. I don't know how many people that are not really engaged in politics actually watch these. If it is just a fun show for people like me that are involved in politics, then I don't think anyone's going to change their mind and it's not really going to do too much damage. But if you do get an audience of people that are generally on the fence of who they're going to vote for, Sunak's message was far clearer. Now, things that Starmer did do well at, now he did get the point across. I think it may have been hidden in a little bit of an argument, so I don't know how clear it was. But when when Starmer was stopping terrorists, Sunak was betting on the financial crisis crashing. I also think Starmer done very well on energy. That was one of his clear messages. You vote for Labour, we'll have a publicly owned renewable energy and get your bills down. I think he also done well on education. So yeah, I just thought I'd give my quick thoughts before I go off to work. What was your opinion? What did you think? Am I being too harsh? I think Starmer had the points there, but you had to unravel so much waffle to get them out. I think Sunak was just much more clearer, precise, to the point. Whereas Sunak had his 3 points, Labour will increase tax, we have a plan for immigration, the economy is doing better. Starmer should have had 3 clear and concise points to hammer home himself. We will start up publicly owned energy company to bring your bills down. We will not continue with stupid Rwanda gimmicks that cost £1 billion. We will invest in the border force and cracking down on criminal gangs to stop the small boats. And we will pay for this by taxing private schools, non-doms, and taxing energy companies, because the rich have got to pay rather than the poor. I think he would have come out on top if he was just clear and concise on those three main points. Majority of people love this stuff. They love damning rich energy companies, taking the tax from the wealthy, not the poorest. And I think he would have won that debate if he'd just been a lot more clear and concise about his points. I just think Sunak was a lot more clearer. Anyway, folks, give me your thoughts. So if you like the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. There'll be another video. You can check that out as well. Till next time.